Hello, everybody, and welcome to the University of Cincinnati's open house. My name is Charlie Schwartz. I am the Associate Director for International Admissions here at the university. We've got a really great schedule lined up for you all today, including a brief overview of the University of Cincinnati, a fantastic student panelist session, and then time for you to break out and meet with your individual colleges and program and study to learn more about that as well. So we got a lot to cover, but before we get started, I want to make everyone familiar with the options that we have available for our participants. On the right-hand side of your screen, you are going to see a list of panelists as well as participants. You will also see a chat function as well as a Q&A function. And so if you have questions throughout this process at any point during the day, you want to ask a question about something that maybe we mentioned in our overview, or if there's a question from staff in the student panel, we want you to use that Q&A function, that question and A function. I know we're very used to using the chat. The chat function will be used to provide links and other resources to you as a participant in this event. So again, the Q&A section is the place to go if you have questions, and we love questions. So please send us any questions that you have about the university, anything that we talk about throughout the day. We want you to get as much as possible from this session, and that is only going to be if you ask us the questions that you want answers to. So let's start today with our overview. Today we have about 20 minutes dedicated to giving you some information about the university, what makes us unique, and things like the scholarship and application process. So the University of Cincinnati is a large public research university. We have about 46,000 students from the undergraduate to the PhD level on our campus. We have a main campus in the heart of the city of Cincinnati, as well as a couple of regional campuses just outside of the city. But what we're most proud of in our office is the 3,557 students who come from around the world to call Cincinnati home. You'll see from our top countries that they come from all over the world. Yes, Asia is represented with countries like China, India, and Vietnam, but we also have students who come from the Middle East, students who come from Europe, and students who come from the Western Hemisphere. So we create a very diverse environment at our university with students coming from over 115 different countries around the world. And when it comes to academics at the University of Cincinnati, it is all here. We have 13 different colleges. And so for those of you who might not know, a college is kind of like a grouping of programs of study. So we have the College of Business, we have the College of Allied Health Sciences, we have the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, College of Education, Criminal Justice and Human Services, College of Design, Architecture, Art and Planning, College of Conservatory Music, and the list goes on and on. Within all of those colleges, we have over 350 different academic programs. And what's unique about the University of Cincinnati is that when you start at the University of Cincinnati, from day one, you are in your academic program. So on your very first day, you're taking classes in engineering, or classes in marketing, or classes in health sciences. And so for students who know what they want to do, the University of Cincinnati is great because we start you off right away. Now, I know that's not everybody. Some students do not know what they want to do when they start, and that's fine too. Our exploratory studies program, we have advisors who help guide students who are unsure of their program through their first year and help them pick a program that's appropriate for them while making sure that they're making progress towards it. Another thing that we love to brag about at Cincinnati is the rigor of our academics. So we are one of the top 1% of universities in the United States. And how we do that is through things like our student to faculty ratio. We have a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So classes are small. Professors know your name. They know what you're interested in. They know what kind of grades you're getting. They know what you're involved in outside of the classroom as well. And because of that personalized attention, our students do extremely well in their studies. In addition to that, we have learning resources on campus like our Learning Commons. So if you need help with maybe a paper and writing a paper, our English program can help you with that. If you need mathematics support, or support in your first year chemistry or physics classes. All of that can be found through our learning resources and through things like student advisors and student mentors. We also have a university honors program that is very unique. Only about 5% of all admitted students are invited to the honors program. And students that are involved in honors do something very different, where instead of just taking specialized classes, we push our students to do things outside of the classroom, where they are engaging in things like study abroad experiences or service learning to really grow as an individual and explore the things that are interested in you. So as you can see, the academics at Cincinnati are second to none. They are top notch here. Now, I do want to take a second to address that things have changed dramatically in the last year due to the COVID pandemic, as well as social justice issues. And the University of Cincinnati, we are very proud that through the leadership of our president, Dr. Pinto, we have been incredibly active in ensuring that our students are safe, that they are healthy, and that they are happy. And so how we've done this is through a myriad of ways. We have changed our learning model where classes are offered either online through distance learning, in class, or in a hybrid situation. So this has been very beneficial for students from overseas who maybe have not been able to make it to campus. In addition, for our students who are able to make it on campus, masks are required at all times. Classrooms are limited to 25% of their capacity, and we have installed things like plexiglass and hand sanitizer across campus. In addition to pandemic support, our university also has a warm, welcoming police force that is on campus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They work collaboratively with our students and our staff, as well as the local neighborhoods, to ensure that students have a safe and supportive environment. So all these things work together to ensure that our students are having the highest caliber experience at the university. Your safety is of our utmost concern. Okay, so getting back to academics, we talked a little bit about academics a couple slides ago, but sometimes people ask me, Charlie, what is the University of Cincinnati known for? What programs are you known for? And what I love to tell people is it's not necessarily an academic program like architecture or engineering, but it's actually how we teach. And at the University of Cincinnati, experience counts. And so what every student has when they graduate from the University of Cincinnati, they have a diploma in one hand, they have a resume in the other, and they always have a plan for their future moving forward. And so we do this through things like internship and co-op experiences. We do this through things like study abroad or undergraduate research, but we want to make sure that every student has some type of experience before they graduate in order to make sure that the education is truly meaningful. And one of the principal ways that we do this is through something called cooperative education. Many times you'll hear it abbreviated as co-op. And so we started this program over 100 years ago. And the idea here is that you learn by doing more than just sitting in a classroom. And so starting in students' second year, if you are in an engineering, a design, or an information technology program, we will require you to go out into the field and get a job in your field. The University of Cincinnati works with over 1,500 different companies in helping place students in their second year into a meaningful work experience as part of their education. So students will go to school during their fall semester. They'll do all the things that you think of with going to school. You'll take classes, you'll have exams, you'll write papers, you'll have finals, you'll do everything that's involved in that fall semester like a traditional student. But then in your spring semester, from January through about April, you'll stop going to school completely and you'll start working full-time for a company in your field. These are companies that many people have heard of, places like Apple or Google if you're in technology, places like Delta Airlines or Ford or Toyota if you're into engineering. We work with top architecture firms across the nation, as well as many others. And during that time, when you're working full-time, you're also getting paid. Our students on average during an entire semester earn about $10,000 during their co-op experience. And so when we talk about cooperative education and experience-based learning, yes, it is a fantastic educational opportunity, but for many students, it's also an opportunity for students to earn money to help pay for their education. And so for all of these mandatory programs, you'll participate in co-op. Optional programs like businesses and arts and sciences, you'll have the opportunity of participating as well. And for other programs that maybe don't have co-op or aren't as robust, we leverage our connections within the co-op program in order to build those connections for students who want to do research or have experiences in the field. So that is a wonderful opportunity. So we do know that eventually everybody will be able to make it to campus, and we're very excited about that because we have one of the most beautiful campuses in the world. In fact, Forbes magazine ranked us as one of the most beautiful in the entire world. And as well, we do have fantastic facilities available for our students. So we have over 16 residence halls located on campus, and 83% of our first year students live on campus. Many students choose to move off campus after that first year, but if you so like, you can stay on campus your entire time while you're at the University of Cincinnati. We have 14 dining halls as well, or 4 dining halls, not 14, excuse me. Those dining halls have all different types of food options. And so if you have gluten sensitivity, if you're vegetarian or if you're vegan, if you prefer a certain style of food, if you just want to eat pizza for every meal for an entire year, you can do that as well. And so what we tell students is there are tons of options for your dining while you're here on campus. And for our active students, students who like to get out and be active, we have what's been ranked as the #1 recreation center. And so if you like to play basketball, if you like to lift weights, if you like to play squash or racquetball, we have an incredible rec center as well. And so for those of you that may not be familiar with our city, the University of Cincinnati is named after the city in which it's located, the city of Cincinnati. We're a mid-sized city located in the Midwest of the United States. And so for context, we are about a 5-hour drive south of Chicago, or we are about an hour-and-a-half flight west of New York City. And what's great about Cincinnati is it being a mid-sized city, we have all the things that you would love about being in a city. So we have shopping, we have sports, we have an international airport, we have restaurants, we have theaters, we have the arts, we have museums, everything that you can think of that makes the city exciting, Cincinnati has it. But we also don't have a lot of the things that can be troublesome with the city. So things like traffic, things like crime, things like pollution, these things are very low at the university, at the city of Cincinnati. So we kind of get the best of both worlds. And that's why we've been ranked as the #1 city for college graduates. Also, we've been ranked #2 as a college city for students in the Midwest. And so it's a beautiful place to be. It's a wonderful place to do your studies as well. And of course, we recognize at the University of Cincinnati that you will eventually finish your studies and move on. And one of the things that we're very proud of is that with our graduating seniors, 94% of them have some type of employment related to their major. Our students are hired by Fortune 500 companies. Over 160 Fortune 500 companies have hired us. Major multinational companies hire many of our students when they go on to graduate. But we also have students who start their own companies or work for small companies as well. And so really what we're focused on is your success after graduation as well. Average starting salary for a student when they graduate is just under $44,000 per year. Now, speaking of money, I wish that we could offer all of this for free for our students, but the reality is that it does cost money in order to provide all of these things. And so the University of Cincinnati, we like to keep tuition reasonable. Tuition is just under $29,000 per year. You'll find that we're not the most expensive school in the United States, but we're also not the least expensive. We also have living costs that are around $11,000 to $14,000. So depending on if you want to live by yourself, if you want to live with others, depending on your eating habits, how often you like to go out, those costs can vary a little bit. We also have required health insurance for all students to make sure that you are covered. And so the total cost for 1 year of education at the University of Cincinnati is about $46,000. And of course, we want to help you with that. And so the University of Cincinnati has very generous scholarship opportunities just for our international students. The average scholarship for an international student starting at the University of Cincinnati is about $8,000 per year. Now that's the average. And if you're good at math, you know that the average means it's in the middle. Some students will receive less money than that. Other students will receive even more. So our range for scholarship is anywhere from a couple $1,000s a year all the way up to full tuition. So how are you considered for scholarships? Well, no extra application is required. Your application to the university is also your application for scholarship. So we take into consideration all of the things that we ask you in the application, and we know that everybody is interested in scholarships. So you don't have to do anything extra in order to be reviewed. For first-year students, that means submitting your application as well as meeting test score requirements, which we'll talk about in a little bit. For transfer students, we do require a 3.2 GPA that is calculated either from a US-based education or through our calculation process. One last important thing as far as scholarships go, we do have priority deadlines for scholarships. So it's important that you submit your application by these deadlines because we award more money earlier in the process. And as we go later into the year, those scholarship amounts become less and less. So how do you apply? Really, there are 4 basic things that you need in order to apply to the University of Cincinnati. So the first, for our first-year applicants, is just an application. You submit application through the Common App for first-year students. The second thing that we need is your high school transcripts delivered to us in English. Usually students will have their counselor or their principal or a teacher at their high school upload those transcripts through the Common App. So you don't need to do anything more on your part other than coordinating with your high school officials to upload your transcripts as part of your application. The other thing that we need in order for an application is proof of math ability as well as proof of English ability. These are done through tests. So the most recognized tests for these are the SAT or the ACT. So those are standardized tests that can be taken anywhere in the world. But we also recognize that because of COVID, as well as because of accessibility issues, many students might not have access to these tests this year. And so as an alternative for our math ability, the University of Cincinnati has a math placement test that you can take at home, online, and completely free of charge in order to meet this math ability requirement. For English ability, many people recognize the TOEFL or the IELTS. These are pretty standard tests across the world. This year, the university is also accepting the Duolingo English test. Again, we love Duolingo because it can be taken online, it can be taken at your home, and can be taken for a very low cost of $49. And so we do require proof of English ability and proof of math ability, but we're very flexible with our testing requirements in order to allow you to take these tests no matter what your situation is. For transfer applicants, many of those same requirements are going to be required for you. So you need to submit an application. We need your transcripts. We also need proof of English ability. But these things can be done a little bit differently for transfer applicants. One of the biggest things that's different for transfer students is that you will need to submit, if you did your education outside of the United States, so if you attended university outside of the United States, we will need what's called a course-by-course evaluation. So these are done by third-party programs that help us understand how your university experience in your home country translates to an American education. We have a dedicated admissions advisor who works just with international transfer students, who can help guide you through this process and help you understand how to get that course-by-course evaluation. We also do continue to require proof of English ability for students who did their education outside of the United States, but for students who did their education inside the United States, usually your education through your university will meet this English requirement. Great. A little bit more on the math placement test, just to make sure everybody's clear on what that is. That is a University of Cincinnati owned test that is just for the University of Cincinnati. It takes about an hour to do. And again, like I said, it's offered online, it's offered free of charge, and it is proctored by a University of Cincinnati staff member. You must have an application in order to be able to access this test. So you cannot take it before you apply. You have to do it afterwards. It is taken on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you can register for that test online. When you register online, we will also send you a list of resources, study guides, subjects that are covered, those types of things, because we want to make sure that you are as well prepared as possible to do as well as you can on that test as you can. So one last thing with the application process. Right now, we are smack in the middle of the application season. So you can see that our application opened on August 1st. And that application was open for students who want to study in August of 2021. So we actually open our application 1 full year ahead of when our students start. Our first application deadline is December 1st. And so if you are interested in studying in things like architecture or engineering or in the design fields, our very selective programs, student programs that receive more applications than they have spots available, they will be looking at that first early action deadline in order to review applications. What happens then is during that time, we review applications in the pool, and then in late January, early February, we release all decisions for all applications that were submitted before December 1st. If you apply to other programs, like say, that have more capacity, like say in the College of Education, Criminal Justice, and Human Services, or maybe a program in physics or chemistry, that application typically stays open later in the year, and we have a March 1st deadline that is applicable for programs that maybe have extra space available in their programs. So what I encourage everybody to do is, rather than worry about if my program has capacity or not, I encourage everyone to get in their application by mid-November. That way you can be sure that you will meet the University of Cincinnati's early action deadline. You will have a decision by at least early February, and you will be able to make your decision moving forward, and without feeling pressure for time and without feeling pressure to get your application. One last thing as we're wrapping up. This is one event, but I hope that you'll take the opportunity to connect with us through social media, because one event does not paint the full picture of the University of Cincinnati. We do everything we can to give you a robust experience here, but we want to be engaged with you throughout this process. And so we do that through a number of different ways. You can find us on Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook. Mom and dad are on Facebook. Grandma's on Facebook. But you can also find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. We have a fun TikTok channel where things are a little less serious, and we just engage that way. And for our students who are in China, we have a WeChat function as well, where you can connect with advisors through WeChat, because we really want to meet with you as well. So rather than remembering our handles, just UC International is what you need to look for online, and you'll find us. Or if you're on WeChat, University of Cincinnati is where it is. All right. And again, we love connecting with students. I love connecting with the students in my territory. So we have a quick list here of all the email addresses. No matter where you are in the world, we have an admissions staff who is dedicated to you and who is really willing to work with you through the process. So thank you very much for attending. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to our student panel. And Sarah Mackey is going to help guide us through our student panel and meeting our students. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Charlie. My name is Sarah Mackey. I'm an assistant director here in our UC International Admissions Office, and I'm joined today by 5 exceptional current international students who are here to share a little bit about their experience at UC and why they chose to study here. But before we get started with questions, I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Hajar, would you like to get us started?
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Jar Saksaka. I'm a senior in UC. I'm studying architecture. I was a transfer student. Nice to meet you all.
Josh.
Yep. Hi everyone, I'm Josh. I'm a third year computer science student and I'm from Mumbai, India.
Hi everyone, my name is Anshi. I'm a second year student studying information technology. I'm from Ahmedabad, India.
Hello, my name is Nicholas and I study cello performance in CCM and I'm from Hong Kong.
Hi guys, my name is Weijie Li, go by Li, and I'm a third year in University of Cincinnati right now. My major is economics and operation management. Nice to meet you guys here.
Great, thanks guys. So we're gonna get started. We have a few questions for you. The first question, a big question, why did you choose to come to UC? Hajar?
All right, so I chose specifically UC because of the great program for architecture and how it's ranked really highly. But also I did choose it because of co-op and affordability. I think the co-op program, like Charlie has mentioned, one of the greatest things like a student can get out of. It helps you save money, helps you get experience, and it sets you apart from competition when you graduate in the workforce. And again, affordability. I think UC is one of the most affordable universities in like the United States. So, and you'll find that out when you're applying. But I think those are the greatest things about UC.
Great. Josh, what about you?
Yeah, just like Hajar, and pretty much most of the students at UC who go either engineering, design, or IT, I also came to UC for their co-op program. For me, having that professional experience before graduating was super important because as international students, even though it's not specifically more difficult to get a job after, it's very crucial to get a job after graduation. And just having that experience from the university itself, I think that makes a huge difference to me. Just as a third year student, I will have finished 1 year of experience by the end of this semester, and the professional skills and the networking skills that you gain, you just cannot get that anywhere else. So that's why I came to UC.
For me, same as Josh, I'm also in like the engineering major. I'm doing IT. I chose University of Cincinnati because of its co-op program, and also the information technology program here is like the master's program is ranked as the top 10 by the US News. So I thought like the bachelor's would be good enough too. And after coming to know like that the co-op program too, I was like really interested doing this.
So same as them, I came to UC. I study music performance major, so I came to UC because there's a very good music program, and also I wanted to study under my professor, whom I met in Beijing in a music festival a couple years back, and I also loved Cincinnati as a city and as a great community as well, and that's why I came to UC.
Okay. Okay, for me, like two reasons. The first is a business program. So since my major is a business, so I hear about our College of Business is a top 100 like rank in the university in the whole American. And second one, yeah, I love the Cincinnati as well because I can easily get many great job opportunity here because there's so many like companies headquarters or found in Cincinnati, such as Procter & Gamble, Macy, Kroger, and Fifth Third Bank. So which just give me like a lot of like chance to practice my knowledge, get internship, co-op, things.
Absolutely. So great academic programs, an awesome co-op program, affordability, the city of Cincinnati itself. We do have a little bit to offer everyone. So, well, diverse range of answers. I like that. The next question, what has been your favorite aspect of studying at UC?
So my favorite aspect has definitely been the staff faculty to student ratio. Like Charlie mentioned previously in the presentation, is 17:1, which you'll come to find out is very helpful when you need help. Your faculty will always be there for you to assist you. I know it's not easy to be in a foreign country, so that really does play a role. And they do help you as mentors. They're there for you. And I think that's the greatest thing about UC.
Yeah, I definitely agree with her on that. And for me personally, the greatest thing, or like my best part about UC is how diverse the entire campus is. I enjoy meeting people from different aspects in different countries, and just getting to know different cultures. So just like getting myself out there and learning so much. Being an engineering major, I feel like I get very focused on tech, but coming to UC, I feel like I've expanded my mind and learned about so many different things that I probably would not have learned at all in class. So my favorite part about studying at UC is actually not even studying at UC.
Yeah, I agree with this because involving in organizations is like the best part because you make so many friends around, like from all over the world and plus from the United States. And also, the best thing I like about UC is that the professors are really helpful in all your work experiences. And I also like that how we have advisors for everything. Like if you want to do co-ops, if you have academic problems, if you want to do an international co-op or anything. So I like that we have advisors for everything.
Same with Hadra, Josh, and Angie as well. I really loved how like the professors are really helpful and are really nice, and they are very helpful, especially for having TAs and just following up your work on a daily basis or on a weekly basis as well, which is very helpful. Especially, it's not easy to study in a foreign country. But I also loved how UC International holds like annual food events, which really brings students together. And I think it's very good. And it's one of my favorite aspects studying at UC.
Yeah, my favorite part like aspect of the study is like it's called a learning community. So it's like since I'm business like studying in the business school. So the first year, like I'm freshman year, then I was assigned to like a learning community. So which is just a small like a study community. Like there are other like 20 like freshman student who study in the same college with you. You guys can study like at least 2 classes like for each week. So the reason why I like that because just give you a chance to meet other freshman student and really easily, and also like to adapt like college life really quickly. So yeah, which is really helpful like for me to make friends and have fun and study with them.
Great. Yeah, those are all great answers. I know a lot of prospective students can be concerned about the size of a university. So UC is a very large university, but I think throughout all of your answers, from small class sizes and having that personal connection with your professors to the events that we have in the student organizations on campus, it sounds like you all have found your own community of friends and that support system of peers and colleagues as well. So that's excellent. But we are going to move on to talk a little bit about experience-based learning. So UC requires all students to participate in some portion of experience-based learning. That can be co-op, internship, study abroad, research projects, but we are very concerned with our students taking the skills they've applied in the classroom and being able to apply those to the real-world setting. So that being said, what experience-based learning have you done so far in your time at UC?
So far, I have done 3 co-ops. One with L Brands, who are very famous for Victoria's Secret, for designing Victoria's Secret. at the Bath and Body Works, Pink, across like internationally and nationally in the US. I've worked in Seattle for a big firm called ARC Architects, which are very renowned. I got to move across country. I worked with a French architecture firm as well. And so those has been great opportunities that I couldn't have done without UC. And I was getting paid really well. I was getting paid like on average probably around $24 an hour, which is really high, like for a student, and it helps you save money. That way you can pay your own tuition. And I know they mentioned that you save around 10,000. That is very accurate. Throughout like my co-ops, you get to save like you get to out of the like the experience with around $10,000, which is really amazing, and it can help you save money. And I think it's also great, like I said, learning experience. You could see like a lot of international like companies that are connected with UC, and that it's already established. You don't have to do anything other than just show up, like, and show your capabilities, and UC will definitely help you build that connection.
Yeah, for me, I feel UC gives you, like Sarah said, UC gives you tons of opportunities, be it co-ops or even on-campus opportunities. So I've worked at Learning Commons, which is a tutoring place. I'm a resident advisor right now, which is a job on campus housing or your dorms. But my best experiential based learning has to be my co-op, which was at a small company in Cincinnati itself called Extract Corporation. But I came in there as a software engineering intern. But since it was a comparatively small company, they gave me actual work, and I was treated just like a full-time employee, where I got real responsibilities and got to work on actual projects. So getting that experience, getting that responsibilities helped me boost my professional career, and I was able to use that experience to get much better opportunities right now, and also feel much more confident in my skills as software engineer, be it in classes or be it at co-op. So I think that has to be my favorite experiential based learning program.
For me, I would say I was not very confident about working in the industry, as I thought I was not very knowledgeable for that time. So for my first co-op, I was a teacher's assistant for the summer early IT camp. In that, I was able to explore like the new side of the game development, which I've never thought I would be seeing that, and it was really good. And apart from that, I also got an opportunity from the University of Cincinnati to earn certifications. So I got 2 certifications from Coursera that were really helpful, and they're going to help me I'm going to put that on my resume, and they're going to help me in my future job. So that's how we slowly build up to get a co-op. So I really like the opportunities that we have.
So as a music major in UC, we have CCM College offers a lot of volunteer programs, and there's a CCM after school programs that requires us music majors students to form small groups and to organize music courses for local elementary schools students. And also there's another program called CCM Talent for Hire, which gives opportunities for students to go out to the Cincinnati community and just to perform in groups or solo to people in Cincinnati. So I think these are very good experience-based programs offered in UC.
Okay, except a lot of great job opportunity from like off campus. I think there are a lot of like a great opportunity on campus. So last summer, I got a great on campus work experience from the UC owner program. So which is a research project work for a professor, and the research project is about the economy about the multinational corporation from the developing country. So which is really interesting to me because my major is economics, so it's related to my major, and also it's a great time for me to learn how to start research and how is great research project looks like. So which is helpful for me to, apply my graduate school in the future.
Excellent. So as you can see, there are a lot of different options to participate in experience-based learning at UC. Co-op gets a lot of attention because it's what we're known for, but there are a lot of other options for you to pursue regardless of your major at UC. We have our last question coming up, and that is, what advice would you give prospective international students, students who are in their junior or senior year when applying to UC?
I would definitely say stay connected via social media because you can see all the updates. Submit the documents and application by December 1st because that way get considered for your first major, first choice major, and for more scholarship money. And then stay connected when you come to UC, network and put yourself out there. There's plenty of resources and use them to your success.
We kind of stepped on my points over there, but there's still so much that you can do as a junior or a senior in high school. And one of the advice that I will give is have good relations with your teachers right now. Make sure that the teachers like you. Make sure that you're performing well in your academics or extracurriculars. So that when it is time for you to get those letter of recommendations, it's very easy for you to ask them for it. And also make sure that you ask for it in time, because not a lot of teachers will do it like within a span of week, because teachers are adults who are busy just like you are. So make sure that you ask for it in time and just have that good relations with them. And also that way you can know exactly what teacher you have to ask, because it's probably going to be the one who you have the best connection with.
I would say for your essays, make sure you sell out yourself, put your everything, all your skills or your extracurriculars and stuff like that. Make sure you review your recommendations and everything, your essays and stuff, and be yourself and present yourself, sell out yourself.
So it's basically all that Josh, Hajar, and Angie talked about, but also for CCM major students, be sure to prepare auditions, and for recommendation letters, just be confident and just put in your skills and be confident about it.
Okay, I would like to say just looking for as much as resource you can find about UC from online. So especially like a human resource, for example, like for many Chinese international student, so there are a bunch of group chat, group chat about the student who are senior or junior in the group chat, and then you can just join into a group chat, talk with them, ask them any question you want to know about the campus, like a life or city, so just use your resource to just to fund the some people who either graduate from here or either study right now in the UC. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think using your resources wisely, reaching out to us in admissions if you have questions, or your high school counselors, definitely using your resources is key to help